is Italian. Yes. Yes. Okay, great. So we're all here, and well, it is a lovely day, beautiful day, and especially because someone is celebrating.
Oh.
Yes, celebrations. And who is it? So, happy birthday, many happy returns of the day to Mike Tweddle. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mike. Happy birthday to you.
The mountains. Like always, we left the Saga sign on the front window to recognize the coach, but we have the coach number 327 on the front and back window. And even as Anne said, he is Italian, he's already half and half, because he's already so long time on Gran Canaria that he's already half Canarian. So half and half. Well, I think you still remember my name. I am the same guy that on Friday, and with a big pleasure I'm going to show you, I think, the unexpected side of Gran Canaria, because many times we suppose that Gran Canaria is only one island with sand, beaches and nice facilities, but Gran Canaria has a beautiful interior. We will start driving to Fataga, with the first photo stop in a viewpoint over a ravine that is amazing. Over there you will understand why we also call it the Canyon of Fataga. It will remind you like a canyon. Crossing the ravine, we have a second stop in the charming village of Fataga, where we can do a stroll together. It's a very tiny village, but as I said, very charming. And we will carry on to the mountains with a break, with a coffee stop in Ayacata. Ayacata is another little village, plenty of almond trees everywhere, in Tejeda, where these sweets have been made. We stop there just for a break, we can refresh, we have bathrooms, we can have a coffee, because then we carry on to 1,700 meters. Over there is just pure nature, pine trees, a great scenery with the symbol of Gran Canaria, the famous Roque Nublo. It is a big cliff. And you will discover how amazing is the interior of the island. After crossing some pine forest, we start to descend to the north. We have lunch included in a restaurant in Valleceg. I plan to arrive there a bit earlier than yesterday, before 1, because today is Sunday. And on Sundays, the restaurants are very full with Canadians. So if we arrive before 1, it's always quite nice, be quiet. And because moreover, we finish the lunch, we get Teror. Teror is the patron town, because there we have a virgin who is the patron of Gran Canaria. Today is a very special day, because we celebrate the Mary's Day. The patron day was on 8th of September. The next Sunday after this 8th of September, on Gran Canaria, on the Canary Islands, we always say is the Mary's Day. So all the ladies called Marys today have a big celebration, like me. And the town will have still a market, still quite nice atmosphere. So that's another reason to arrive not too late to Teror. And after enjoying the town of Teror, we carry on to Bandama, the most important explosion crater on the island, one of the highlights of this tour. where we have the last photo stop before we drive back. This thick little trunk, that's also euphorbia, very toxic, sticky and milky sap. Well, here you have them, left and right. Our cardon, Euphorbia canariensis, or candlestick cactus, the botanical symbol of Gran Canaria. Sometimes they grow 3 times bigger than me. That is actually not a wonder because I am 1.60 m. And they only grow on the coast belt. That means later, when we get on the mountains, very high, over 1,000 meters, they will disappear. You will see pines, you will see broom, etc. But no more this kind of euphorbias. And we're ready to drive close to one place called Mundo Aborigen. The translation is Aboriginals World. It's a copy of one of our Aboriginals village. And you know, my boyfriend works there. And I said to my boyfriend, you know, darling, my clients are so nice. Will you come out to say hello to them? And he said yes. I think it's a waste of time stopping, letting him inside and kissing you, because that's the way here we always kiss. That's why, instead wasting the time like that, he's going to come outside and wave it to you. And because you are very kind, you will wave him back, don't you? Okay. Because I said you are very nice people, so. Good. Let's see if he came. I think so. He promised when I was leaving, I sent him a text. Mira, allí delante de mi novio vamos despacio y le tocas la pita. ¿Sabe cuál es mi novio, no? El muñeco. So, well, first you can see the houses. Remember, it's a copy inspired in the Aboriginals' houses. We saw that in the museum on Friday. And let me see if my sweetheart. Yes, here he is. He's such a sweet man. Look, he did what he promised. Hello, my darling. He's very attractive. Look at him. Hello, darling. Gino's waving to him. Well, let's be honest. He needs to go to the hairdresser. But he's a very good. He's very quiet, actually. Very quiet.
Is that his brother?
No, it's just a colleague to the work. No, it's a colleague. Good. Well, we're ready to stop. The viewpoint is very close. We have like, I don't know, 5 minutes, something like that, for the stop. On one side, we can take a photo of the ravine that I said we call the canyon of Fataga. On the other side, you will be able to take a photo of the sand dunes of Maspalomas. And that's one thing I also want to explain to you. When we carry on, I'm pretty sure I'm going to explain to you a bit about the sand dunes formation. Maybe you already had yesterday's stroll in the promenade and you had a view of them. Unfortunately, they are disappearing. We're very worried about it. And unfortunately, in some books appears that they're not natural, artificial, or sent from Africa. Completely wrong. But as I said, let's do first the photo stop, take a photo of the ravine and the sand dunes, and then we carry on with this story.
Does it say there? I believe there's a plastic bag levy back then. Carry.
Hier nicht. Hier fragen wir dich einfach nach Gehen. Aber du kannst halt, du kannst irgendwann mal Scheiße. Aber
That's a good one, Keith, with the resort down the bottom.
I'm gonna zoom in on that.
I'll do my little zoom. I do little zooms. But not that good. That's better.
First one, and that's the second one. So tic-tac is how we call it. Not doing a bit wider without working here, because as I said, sometimes it is possible to find a big lorry or a big bus in the other direction. Sorry about it today. Next time we will organize that better. So, now that the safari is over, I can carry on with the sand dunes. So as I said, on one side could be erosion thick during thousands of years, but some years ago, the University Hospital of Las Palmas, some experts said, if this sand dunes formation exists that long time, why no one mentioned it? I mean, why no one wrote about it until 19th century? Why don't mention it the Portuguese or the Spanish or even Christoph Columbus, who was in the lagoon there in 1502? Well, they keep saying the reason is probably because they are not so old as we suppose, and they keep relating this formation to the famous earthquake happening in Lisbon in 18th century that could produce a sort of tsunami or huge wave that pushed all this sand over the southeast coast. Whatever it is, for sure is natural, and in any case, sand from Africa. And on the other side, it is our responsibility that the sand dunes are disappearing. When I compare on my photos that I took when I started like tour guide like 15 years ago, and now I can really see that in some parts they are lower. It is too much, we spoil too much the sand TU gave the name to the capital, the Phoenix Canariensis. And when we keep driving in this barranco is ravine, we will see more of them. I mean, left down you see already a couple of them, but we will drive very close to one of those, or to some of those oases. In my opinion, the Canary palm tree is one of the most beautiful ones in the world. It's quite elegant, quite wide on the top, the beautiful green on the leaves. So it's one of the most beautiful ones in the world. Under the palm trees, a part of cane. We have some mango trees, some avocados, some banana plants, oranges. We used to do beautiful handicraft with the leaves, like baskets, like brooms, like bags. Unfortunately, this kind of handwork is disappearing. Almost everywhere in the shops you find made in China stuff. Let's see if after this first oasis we can see the camels of Fataga. It is a camel station. Oh yeah, I can see them already from here. It is a company that offers you camel riding. You could do camel riding down close to the sand dunes or here in Fataga. Every time I bring a group to ride on camel, I must say they have fun. I think it's still early. They're having breakfast. Oh, the couple here is hungry. They got up with bad mood today. Anyway, that's the finca. When I say finca, in Spanish means a piece of land, normally with a manor house, with animals and plantations. It could be quite big or small. That's what I mean when I say finca. Look on the left, the beautiful bougainvilleas, originally from Brazil. And one thing I forgot before in the first stop, as you see everywhere, we have cacti with fruits. We call it tuno, in English is prickly pear. That's now we have the season. It is the summer, the end of summer. Please, keep your fingers far away from them, because they have spines, little thorns, and it is really, really bad to get it out. The prickly pears taste very nice, juicy, sweet, and they have many seeds inside that you don't have to spit, you eat it. With the prickly pears, you need to be careful with them. First, when you get them, it must be early in the morning or late evening, because the dew drops, the humidity is over the spines and they're soft. Because if you do it with the heat, these spines are even worse. Second, don't eat it warm, because then you need to run to the toilet. And you cannot eat too many of them because of the many seeds. That is on the contrary, it is difficult to go to the toilet. So it's a complicated fruit, let's say. You need to eat with the right temperature and right number. But on the island, we love it. We love them. Aquí delante del blanco, porque igual arriba no hay aparcamiento. ¿Sabes qué te digo? Para que no te quedes mal aparcado.
¿Aquí?
Sí, ¿no? A la derecha, aquí. Sí. Porque no sé si arriba habrá parking. Mira, déjame aquí.
Voy a venir.
Y tú vas a ver, y si está libre me esperas arriba. Si no, me esperas aquí.
Ahí en la placeta del eclipse.
Sí, si está libre te quedas arriba. Let's go. mix. Yeah, that represents one lady doing handicraft with palm trees leaf. You see what she's holding? It's a palm branch. Here is a small water channel. Now it's no water, but it's where the ladies used to come for washing. You know, the most important thing was not washing, was gossips.
Well, it's like that in Portugal, isn't it? They have
The levadas in Portugal.
yes.
It's something.
And they're all doing
Look, there you can see one avocado tree with fruits. But remember I said to you it's early. You see them? So it's normally Christmas, we do a lot of things with avocados for our Christmas lunch, our Christmas supper. So those avocados are still green and small. They will grow a bit bigger. That's a conqua tree, but it's not the time now. But they're vegetarian, don't worry. So, yes, it's a species common on the Canary Islands.
Yeah.
And you see them when it is very sunny, in the rocks, sometimes on the beach.
Yeah. What about snakes?
We are invaded with a plague. It's a sort of constrictor snake from California. Because you know what happened with people who had it like pets?
Yes,
And
yeah,
throw
they
them.
escaped, yeah.
We already found 590. So it's a plague. It's already considered a plague.
Pobrecita. Hola. Con lo señora que tú eres. Pero menos está con los niños, ¿no?
Oh, pero claro.
Oh, the bakery. Oh, I miss my almond. Because it's like that, it's like my shoe. We're gonna keep the line today. No bakery open. No biscuit. We are gonna keep this sweet. But sometimes they open on Sunday. With Anne, for example, came with a couple of times and it was open. But I
I see another cat.
You stole the car halfway up the hill.
In the right gear.
That's the house of the famous sculptor of the island. This is what he wears. And is his name. He's very, very popular on the mountain. He did many nice sculptures.
Don't need to go to the gym for aerobic workout today.
It's sort of agave. You know, it's agave is the family. In some, they're, I think from Mexico, they do tequila with, but this one is very ornamental. It flowers always in the middle, and it looks like an elephant. No, plenty of seeds. But it's one agave.
I don't mind going down the because it puts more.
It's many of them in Las Palmas. And this old house is also where a lady works sometimes doing pottery. Alfarería, alfarera is the person who does pottery. Some of these houses can be rented over internet to spend holidays. Like this one on the right.
There's nothing, is there? There's a dam back there.
I don't know what side he's on. A little bit of water around.
What we call southwest. That happens maybe once every couple of years. It's really, really good. And then we don't drive these roads. So.
No.
There's a small art gallery, but I think the artist is relaxing. Today's Sunday, or they must be in the church. But you know, those houses around can be rented over internet. Beautiful, charming village. Fataga is part of a municipality called San Bartolomé, where actually you are staying. I mean, Playa del Inglés is located just on the coast of San Bartolomé. The real name is San Bartolomé de Tirajana. And in this municipality, we have different villages, like this one of Fataga, like another one called Tunte, the neighbor one. So it's a huge, actually the largest municipality of Gran Canaria. The island is divided in 21 municipalities because, well, we have a big discussion about it. It's too much because 21 municipalities means 21 city halls with 21 mayors and a lot of politicians. Let's say on Gran Canaria we have more politicians than normal people. But well, as I said, it is a big discussion. Before we leave the Thousand Palm Tree Valley, I would like to explain to you one thing that is maybe connected to something that you learned on Friday. Do you remember that on Friday I said to you that Canary Islands or Gran Canaria is the island of the people Canary from North Africa, and anymore we accept Canary Island, Island of the Dogs? Well, the first name of Gran Canaria, before it was Gran Canaria, was Tamaran. Tamara is the fruit of the palm tree. In Spanish mainland, they call it dátil. Very close to date, Datil. But on the Canary Islands, that is Tamara. So that means we suppose that the first name of our island was related to these indigenous palm trees. They exist since always on the Canary Islands. That means this part of the island, to this area where we have the coffee break, in February and March is a sort of paradise. All the trees with pink and white blossoms. Sometimes some people like to have almond trees in garden because they're very ornamental because of the blossoms, and they like the pinky ones. But the pinky ones are normally the bit almonds. The white ones are the sweet almonds. And we do so many things with them. We have one almond bakery in Tejeda. They do Christmas sweets, they do marzipan, they do almond cream, whatever. Again, later in the market, if you want to buy something of these, you find it. Even sometimes in the viewpoints, is some families selling because they are very popular. The name of the brand is Tejeda. And this almond area is just in the center of the island. The island is 1,560 square kilometers, sorry. It's like 560 square miles, I think, more or less. And it's quite high, very high, 1,949 meters. We cannot see at the moment the highest mountain on Gran Canaria. But later, when we start to descend to the north, I will point it out. And the name is the Snow Mountain. Probably you're not going to believe it, but sometimes on Gran Canaria we have snow. And do you know how you will know that we had snow on the island? Let's imagine that it had snow yesterday night. Well, we had seen no one in any town, less people in the hotel, no taxi drivers, no waiters, the children don't go to school, the chicken don't have eggs, nothing. You know why? Because everyone is on the mountains. We collapse the mountains. And don't suppose that we get snow like in your country. No, I'm talking about some white spots over there, and it is driving us mad. So many people that the police is going on the mountains, closing the roads, because it's impossible. I already have been one day, 2 hours stopped in a traffic jam with a bus with German guests. Can you imagine the face of them? Because they, bless them, they were so sweet. They said, we cannot understand why this little ice, because I think it was even not snow, is driving you mad. And you know what people like to do here? They do small snowmen over the roof of the car, and they drive quick back home to show it the neighbors. Islands that we all know. On the Canary Islands we have 6 more. One of them, La Graciosa, has population, and the other 5 are just big rocks in the sea. So that means the archipelago is just 13 islands. The 7 big ones and the 6 small ones. And in 2 provinces. Capital of the West Province, Tenerife. Capital of the East Province, Gran Canaria, so Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, where we have been on Friday. By the way, I'm gonna say to you a secret. You should not say to the guide on Tenerife. Tenerife and Gran Canaria are neighbors but not friends. Do you remember when we talked about Columbus and I said the story about the Treaty of the Pope between Portugal and Spain? Well, the same. Gran Canaria and Tenerife, they hate each other because we wanted to be the capital for a long time, and that's why finally the politicians could anymore, and they separate the islands in 2. But you know, in my opinion, all the islands are pretty. I love Tenerife. I think you will love it. I think all the islands are different, and it is even not fair to compare them, because it's no cliffs, with the pine forest that we will see, with the greener north. Other islands are not like that. For example, remember Fuerteventura. The beaches were like in the Caribbean, but I don't think you saw many forests there. Or Tenerife, or I don't know, La Gomera. They're very green, but the beaches are not so special or are artificial. So, in short, without comparing them, because all of them have beauty, Gran Canaria is like the most complete, the most different, with a mix, a blend of different landscapes. On Gran Canaria, we have actually 7 different microclimates. But I keep saying the main difference why on one side the island looks like that and on the other side not is because south is always drier and north is fresher because of the trade winds. If you think about it, even the situation of the island, we are in subtropical latitude close to Africa, it should be even hotter. But the Atlantic makes isolation. The trade winds with the Gulf Stream and the influence of the anticyclone of the Azores refresh. So it's different factors why the Canary Islands are like in a sort of different microclimate than the other continental areas. Luckily for us, because that's one of the reasons why the tourists love to come over. In winter especially, is mild. I mean, it's like everlasting spring. And I point out like the monk. Remember I said to you that in my opinion, closer looks like Homer Simpson. Look on the left. I think so. Look the head and the funny belly. It's a bit like the Homer Simpson. And just behind is appearing a cliff, the one that we call Roque Nublo, 65 meters. That is the geological symbol of Gran Canaria. Implode or collapse. I mean, it didn't exactly erupt or explode. It was exactly on the contrary. Implode. After so long time, the erosion has been removing part of the material, making visible this big crater and letting free those rocks formations. Couple of them appear in some books like the camine of the volcano. This volcano had like a couple of camines. It's like where the lava stream is coming out. And these blocks are basalt blocks. Don't worry if you don't really understand what I'm explaining now. I'm sure when we get in the viewpoint and you see that, you will understand very clear what I'm trying to explain. And of course, if you have any question, you let me know. From this viewpoint, sometimes we could see our neighbor island Tenerife. I'm not pretty sure today. Oh, here on the right is nuts trees. That's nuts. Nuts and chestnuts. I'm not pretty sure about seeing Tenerife today for the simple fact that we have a bit calima. Calima is dust in the air. It is because of sandstorms in the neighbor Sahara that we get always something blowing over the islands. With colleagues and chatting and drinking rum. That's why during the hunting days I don't like to do hiking because all of them have a bottle of rum in the rucksack. They start to drink in the morning very early, and at 11 they think every movement is a rabbit. even if no one is saying anything, the gentleman with the birthday will keep the present. So maybe he's happy about no answer. And right down, you start to see Las Palmas very clear. Remember that we left the south, now we start to descend to the north, and in this way down north, we will be able to see Las Palmas in some points with spectacular view. So yeah, let's go with the restaurant. Cruz de Tejeda. Cruz means cross. Tejeda cross. Since 17th century, it is a wood cross there, pointing out the different directions on the island in the time that people just walk. But the stone cross is there since the 60s. It's a symbol. It's like the geographic center of the island. We have there some restaurants. We have the Parador. It's a small hotel. You saw people selling typical things, and well, you also saw the donkeys. The donkeys are a symbol here. They used to have like 20 donkeys there. The tourists could ride or even just taking a photo, and the people got a coin, you know, a tip. But as I think, as we saw, they have 2 or 3. I mean, donkeys in Spain, moreover, are disappearing. Well, donkeys with 4 legs. We still have a lot with 2 legs. But it's a sort of animal that, because now is no more so useful, we don't use them in the farms, etc. They are disappearing, and they are actually very expensive. Right, in this way we will see one more and last time the highest mountain of the island, the one that we said is 1,949. And when we keep descending a bit more, I show you something that I promised on Friday. I didn't forget it. When we went in the archaeological museum and we said that those aboriginals use caves to live, and like Canaries, I said we still have people living in caves, but modern caves. I can show you from the coach a couple of them. So, and that's the way, as I said, to Valle Seco. We will also see another ravine, a place called Las Lagunetas, plenty of terraces where we grow mainly cereals and potatoes. Those steps or terraces are called bancales. I mean, you already saw that the island is not flat. So the only way to organize agriculture on one island with this kind of orography is doing those steps. Because I mentioned potatoes and cereal, I remember something really funny about potatoes. Because we grow them, and you see right down these terraces, I mean, right, in this ravine. We will see more of them down to Valle Seco. We grow potatoes twice in year. And winter and summer potatoes, right? And we have different species of potatoes. But two of them are called quinoa and otudates potatoes. Libre. Now I know it doesn't ring the bell, but those words are English, well, Spanglish. Spanglish is a fusion between your language and our language, a fusion that we did in the time that we got so many British on the island. So the first name, quinoa, well, we used to import potatoes from England, and on the sack was the name of the potatoes, and the name was King Edward. But the Canarians could not pronounce it properly, and we started to say quinoa. But the second name is even better, the otudates. They used to send back potatoes over, and they put on capital letters on the sack, out of date. And the Canarians, bless them, they thought it was the name of the potatoes, so they start to say otudates. And when you go in a shop and you ask for quinoas or for otudates, everyone knows you want potatoes. So it is a bit Spanglish that we have. We have more Spanglish. Some of the words are quite funny. But first let's look at the first cave houses here on the right. Those houses on the right. Try to have a look now between the trees. Those ones are cave houses. We will see more and we will get closer. The best in cave houses is temperature. Indoors is around 20 degrees. The problem so high where we are is that in winter can be very, very cold, 4 degrees, even sometimes snow, or sometimes in summer it could be hot. I think you realized that in the last viewpoint. Well, indoors, that's always fresh. We have a couple of disadvantages. No windows, no light from outside, so they need to have electricity on. Or, because the ground is very porous, we need to paint waterproof, inside and outside. But those houses have everything. They have electricity, they have water canalization, they pay taxes, etc. What we excavate in the cliffs are normally bedrooms and living room. What we join outside, so we build outside, is kitchen and bathroom. When I show you the next one, I think you will identify easier what I'm trying to explain. It is a minority, the people living in caves, but mainly in the interior of the island. reserved some tables for our group, different size. I mean, we're not sitting down all together like the first day. They have just like tables for 6, for 4. So we follow the waiter and we take place completing the tables, right? On the table, you get bottled water and bread. A part of this bottled water, like our first day, the waiter will ask you what you would like to drink. We have one drink included: beer, wine, fresh refreshment, whatever you fancy. The bread here tastes a bit anisey, like anise taste, because it's very common in the interior, baking bread with a little bit anise. Then you get your starter, you get your main course and your dessert. The staff, we always eat in the bar. Whatever you need, you can say the waiter to call us and we go to you. And I always appreciate that if during the lunch you don't like something, something is wrong. You know, things that could happen in a restaurant, the meat is not well done or whatever. Please let me know or let the waiter know in the moment to do something. Because for me it's very, I don't know, upsetting when I am in the parking waiting for you and I ask you how was the food. If you say, I don't know, my meat was not well done, when we are ready to go, it's nothing I can do. But if you let me know in the moment, we can find a solution. It's a lovely restaurant. I come every Thursday with my other clients in our grand tour. We keep coming since always, and we always got beautiful feedback. I think you will love the food. But in case, right, something that you don't like or something we're not right, you let us know. We can have a word with the kitchen, with the waiters, and we change it. But not when we are ready to go. When we are ready to go, well, yeah. I cannot say to you departure time because it depends in the service. Let's say after your lunch, after your dessert, 10 more minutes for the bathrooms, and I see you outside. Outside I have a sort of patio with a balcony where you can take a photo over Teror, and then we carry on. In Teror you will have longer time. Remember I said to use the charming village with a nice atmosphere because the market is still there. You have coffee shops if you fancy coffee. The basilica will be open. So that's why after the lunch, 10 more minutes, I see you outside and then we're ready to go. That's the meeting point.
And my mind went to that, which you need to do, what sort of water we want to go on. You know, I mean, and I know it can't sing sort of thing, but it's doing completely. Now, it's without
It's interesting how the clouds disappear into the sea, isn't it? They merge.
And I like it. And right now, it's a small town where we have our next stop. I know that the name is always a surprise because it's Teror. Listen, not terror. You don't have to be terrified because it's one only R. So T-E single R-O-R. Teror comes from one Aboriginal's word, aterura, that means groundwater. So the water from this village is still very famous. They have a fountain, they have a well, and the water from Teror is the water that you got by lunch on the table. Teror is going to be crowdy, busy, and pretty because we are in September. We celebrate on 8th of September the patron day, who you will find in the Basilica, so the Lady of the Pine. And busy because today, as I said, is Mary's Day. I know how fantastic you are, and I know what I'm gonna say to you now is going to work. The driver is leaving us in one point. Before we leave the coach, I will let you know at what time I see you back. We're gonna be around 1 hour in this town. And I need you back on time for the simple fact that on those days they have a lot of restrictions. He is leaving us in one point but needs to go and park out of the village. And he has the permission to come back and pick us up. That's why it's necessary to be on time, because if he's stopping there and we are not on the coach, the police is blaming him. I know you are on time, but it's just to remind you that today is especially important in this place. When we park, I do with you a small orientation walk. I will walk in the front and in the back to avoid that no one is getting lost. Remember, around the Basilica, it's going to be sort of a market, many people around, you have coffee shops. So I just orientate you to the main entrance of the Basilica that will be open. You can feel free to go in. I think it's going to be many people giving thanks, etc. You can take photos, that's not a problem. It is 250 years old Basilica. Again, like the cathedral is eclectic. I mean, inside is Baroque, the facade is neoclassic, the tower is Gothic, so it's a mix. I don't mind if you take photos. I guess you will see other people around taking photos. It's going to be a mix of locals and tourists. And you can be sure that the Lady of the Pine Festival is the most popular festival on Gran Canaria. So we have such a special devotion to her. Many women on Gran Canaria are called Mary of the Pine. I think it sounds a bit strange, but it's a common name. In Spanish it's Maripino. And the reason why we have a Mary of the Pine, let's say we have two theories. I'm going to explain to you both and you believe whatever you want. One is the accepted one for the Catholic community, and it says about a miracle. Suddenly one day the people from Teror saw lights, a sort of brightness between the branches of a pine tree, and when they took a look, what they discovered was a pretty virgin. So a miracle happened over the pine, so Mary of the Pine. What you find in history books is a bit different. It goes back to something that you know. that we have been conquered during the Catholic crown, and the Spanish or the Castilians conquerors had the very easy way to introduce this unknown Catholic religion. It was making appear virgins and saints everywhere. That's why the Virgin of the Pine, the Virgin of the Oak, the Virgin of the Cave, etc. Important thing in Teror. That's going to be the last stop with toilets, because we drive down to Bandama with a photo in the crater, and we drive back the motorway. Of course, when we drive back the motorway, if it is any sort of emergency, you let me know. We can always stop by the airport because it's just in the middle. But in Bandama, it's only a crater, no toilets. Where you can find toilets in Teror, you have public toilets. Sometimes someone there with a basket, something polite is 50 cents. Or in a coffee shop. If you go to drink a coffee or something like that, of course you can use the facility. But as I said, the last one is just later when we are in the motorway. I will ask, in case it is necessary, we can do the stop at the airport. If not, we keep driving to Playa del Ingles. Here is the meeting time, okay? So please follow me.
She wants us here before the
Yeah, let's get off. Let's get off quick. Get off quick.
What's the step? because it made such of a huge explosion, such of a violent eruption, that the volcano completely disappeared, and what we still can see is a huge crater, a giant one. I'm not saying big, I'm saying giant, because it's 1 kilometer wide and around 200 meters deep, 200-300 meters deep, more or less. So we could actually stop on one side of this crater, but I know how brave you are, so we drive to the top. Not only because you are brave, it's because the best photo is from over there. You can take a photo of the crater, you can see the east coast and Las Palmas in the distance. The name is Bandama with V like Barcelona, but in some old maps you find it with V, Van Dam. Actually the name is related to one Dutch navigator that used to live there and had the same surname that this famous American actor Jean-Claude Van Damme. So Van Damme. The name changed and now we write it with B like Barcelona. It is not activity at all. As I said, it happened long time ago. On Gran Canaria is not volcanic activity. And one curious thing is that in the crater inside you will recognize two houses. One of them is one old wine press, and the other one is the house of someone that sometimes stay in there. It appears in many books like the only crater in the world with one inhabitant. He's not living every day there. He spends a couple of days and coming up his family here. So sometimes it's populated. You see here on the right, vineyards. We are right now in the most popular vineyards area on Gran Canaria. El Monte is the name. I think the red wine on Gran Canaria tastes a bit like berries, like red fruits, and even I get like a mineral touch, probably because of the volcanic soil. And the white wine is very fresh, fruity. It reminds me a bit to tropical fruits like maracuya. But those grapes that we grow are very special because they didn't have any sort of genetic mutation. I mean, long time ago, and it was 19th century, we got in Europe a plague coming from United States, phylloxera. It's a sort of plague, a sort of insect that destroyed the vineyards. The only way to stop it in Europe was grafting the European plant with the American one that already had resistance against this plague. On the Canary Islands, because we are isolated, we never got this phylloxera, so we never graft with foreign vineyards. So that's why we keep saying that the genetic of them is pure. The local wine is expensive, that's true, but I already mentioned this morning that our products are nice but expensive. So a bottle of Canary wine, normal wine, could be around 9-10 euros. That is not cheap. And you see one more time how we cover the soil with the volcanic lava. Left down you see more of these vineyards. bodies, wow! Amazing, isn't it? So that's why I really miss words when I try to describe which kind of violent explosion happened here, because the volcano was so high, like this one, and I mean so massive, so, and it completely disappeared, and we still see this huge hole. You see over there at the east coast, where we have this little peninsula, is where we have the airport. And now, in front of you over there, the capital, Las Palmas. On Gran Canaria, we have 7 golf courses. We are, let's say, a golf player's paradise. That is a bit wonder, because when you think that we don't have water, but on the other side, where you can play golf in winter in Europe, difficult. But this golf course is very special for one reason. They still have the first golf club of Spain, that actually was a British club, and it's from 1891. So the first club of Spain. We also say it is the largest golf club of the country, because normally they have 18 holes. This one has 19. The number 19 is Bandama. Photos, or you have some steps that bring you a bit higher. Over there is nothing, it's like a little square, and sometimes we have some artisans selling whatever, and accessories, I mean. So you see here you have some steps, or you're just going around. One only thing, be extremely careful when you want to take the photo over Las Palmas on the right, because here the road, as you see, it makes like a sort of step. No, aquí no, chino. Bueno, allí mejor, ¿no? No sé que se caigan aquí. Pero en tu hueco, bueno, como tú quieras. Aquí. Okay, so please mind the step on the right.
Ik heb dat nooit gezien, dat bordje. Dat hebben ze in één keer maar neergezet.
Esto es la caldera.
Otro aliciente. ¿Cuál era el otro aliciente? Que llegaba y decía, mira, la casa aquella que está allí es el colegio del Carmen. O el colegio del Carmen. O allí está la casa de
Moet de hoek niet vormen. Ik heb hier het eerste nog van. Eerst waren we weg hier op hol. Dan lopen we daar roze uit. Dan kun je de panorama op bij. Dan gaan we zo. fish.